We all love nostalgia, a feeling unlike to anything else, being thrown back to something you truly enjoyed and that gives you a warm fuzzy feeling. And that feeling gets sparked by Trackmania's community. With its built-in track editor, people's creativity has no limits. They recreated a lot of different things in the game, such as movies they used to watch, video games they used to enjoy, also other racing games and sometimes even real-life places that have some kind of meaning to the creator of the map. In this 4-part series, I will go over all of them, and we will start with the crossover video games themed maps. One of the first games that really got me into gaming was the Half-Life series, and even that got replicated into Trackmania. A 2-map RPG series was made by the player Symptom, and it lets you drive through the City 17, which is heavily influenced by Eastern Europe.
Welcome to City 17.
But you might ask what a RPG map is. In Trackmania, these maps include many styles and incorporated platform and trial aspects. These maps often include pipe balancing, wall rides, difficult jumps, and pathfinding. They can also be immersive and teleport you into a different world by the use of elaborate scenery. But let's get back into City 17, which is the only location in Half-Life 2 Episode 1. One of the 2 major locations in Half-Life 2 and even has an appearance in Half-Life Alyx. This post-Soviet harbor city features a style of architecture pre-World War II. Many buildings were constructed to restrict citizens' movement through the whole city. When you drive through the map, you will encounter many references to the game, such as the healing and HEV2 charger stations. They are mounted to the walls, just like in the game. To make driving a bit more challenging, little obstacles on the ground were also incorporated. For that, the mapper used the Hopper Mine, which is an anti-personnel proximity mine, which will jump up into the air before exploding. These mines also have a friendly fire system built into them, and since when we drive against them, nothing happens, I guess it makes us part of the Overwatch regime. However, we continue our drive and will encounter some of the wrecked cars just like the white sedan 1969 Volga GAZ-24. Along the Sector C line, you will even find the G-Man standing in an electric tram while Freeman is traveling opposite the tram in the introduction sequence. The G-Man arrives before Freeman and is seen arguing with a scientist in the locked soundproof room of the research section in the Anomalous Materials Lab. But be careful, taking the tram you might encounter one of many city scanners, a slightly armored flying security camera that are being used to monitor City 17. Right before we make it into the skyscraper in the middle of the city, we will encounter the airboat, with which you can travel on water and land, and it being used to navigate through the city's sewers. But the exploring doesn't stop with the city. It continues with the gigantic megastructure, Citadel, which is located in City 17. It is the headquarters from the Overwatch, the governor of the Earth and the Half-Life universe. On this map, you get to drive through the metallic skyscraper. But before you get in, you have to cross the road barriers in front of the building. Those combined smart barriers are also known as combined mobile wall. They are a large mechanized wall that use powerful drive system that slowly expand metal blocks that destroy structures in front of them. They seem to operate on their own and get activated when being passed nearby. Inside the massive building, you encounter countless light blue beams, which are part of the combined energy infrastructure. These blue beams are transferring dark energy, an exotic energy source. This energy is used to power the Citadel in its teleportation technology and its defense system. Those beams also serve a symbolic role in creating the intimidating alien aesthetic of the Combine. During your drive upwards the building, you also encounter transparent blue shimmering walls. They are energy-based and you can't cross them. They are part of the Combine oppressive architecture. They are made so that only Combined soldiers and objects can cross them. On top of the building, you can see the Citadel's core, which Gordon, the protagonist of the Half-Life series, destroys. Driving through the finish of the map resembles that moment in the game. But right before the core explodes, the G-Man appears to freeze time and has a little freakout. He removes Gordon from the timeline, and it is the most iconic scene in the game. So of course it had to be referenced in the map, with the G-Man standing on top of the tower, waiting for the player's arrival. I want to continue with another Valve title, a game I played early on, and it's Portal 2. There's a bunch of different Portal-themed maps you can find in the game, but one really stands out. It is another RPG map, made by the player Glocom. And he has spent 600 hours alone creating this masterpiece. And not only that, he sent me a whole lecture on how he made the map. So I will include stuff from there while covering the map, and of course link the doc in the description. At the start of the map, you spawn right in an abandoned Aperture Science facility with overgrown plants all over the place. And just like in the game, there's a female voice narrating you through the tests.
Hello and welcome to the Aperture Science Racing Center. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
Vacate the enrichment
Hello?
center immediately. Any test subject
Are you
non-emergent
gonna
from
open the door?
suspension
Oh God, you look good. Looking good, actually.
You get to choose between 3 languages: English, German, and French. In this case, the test is finding your path and making the jumps. Just like the first Portal game, this map includes 18 chambers. At the beginning of each chamber, there's even a portal and a Trackmania themed panel, based on the ones you will come across in the game. Some of those even include some Easter eggs. At the beginning of each chamber, there's one checkpoint placed so you had to complete each challenge so you get no save states in between. To go from room to room, you will pass many portals, just like in the game, just with the difference you don't get to place them yourself. So they mark the path of the track. To keep the color scheme of the game, every red portal is connected to a blue one, and the yellow ones to the green portal. When you have finished a puzzle, you will drive through a moving exit door, just like in the game, and on those doors, the player is replaced with the Trackmania car. Pretty early on, you will come across a reference from the game with the word lies written on the walls, which is referring to the sentence, "The cake is a lie," written over and over on the wall in Portal. I'm still sad there never was a cake. Multiple times during driving on this map, you will also encounter a big rotating ball. Players of Portal have been speculating it being the central AI core where GLaDOS or Wheatley is housed. And it is the heart of the Aperture Science control system. In Chamber 9, you get to find an Easter egg in the game. When taking the radio to certain spots, it will play secret radio transmissions. Hidden transmissions just like those are also hidden in this Trackmania map. In my playthrough, I said the owner stumbled upon one of those. Later on, you will also come across a boat, another reference to the Half-Life and Portal universe. In Portal, you will come across a life ring with the name Borealis on it. It is an icebreaker that Aperture was working on trying to beat Black Mesa for federal funding. A few times you will even drive through the excursion funnels, also known as tractor beams, which is a game mechanic introduced in Portal 2. It's a white beam of blue light, and it seems to defy the laws of gravity. To recreate them, some blender magic was needed. In some of them, you will also see the companion cube stuck inside of it. For some reason, GLaDOS hates those cubes, and there is a level in the game where it repeatedly keeps destroying them. In the end, when you drive through the finish, you will be presented with 4 of the turrets, and they will beatbox a little song. A similar scene appears before leaving the Aperture Test Center in Portal 2. You will go up in a lift and see 4 turrets starting to sing a song. These turrets serve as one of the main testing obstacles in the Portal series. Armed with almost unlimited ammunition and deadly accuracy, they will attempt to kill test subjects on sight. The beatboxing turrets was heavily influenced by the YouTube video Wrong Floor, Hitchhiker Jam 2 by Zachariah Scott. And just the animation and recreation of the song took Glocom 40 hours alone. He animated every single turret depending on their sounds. And in the words of the mapper, it was pain, so much pain. From these 4 turrets, you then slowly transition upwards into a whole orchestra of them, singing your goodbye song right before you get to leave the test center for good. Since Trackmania is an Ubisoft game, it only makes sense for their biggest title to be represented in Trackmania as well. For the launch of Assassin's Creed Mirage in June 2023, a 5-map campaign was launched by Ubisoft within Trackmania. Those 5 maps stick to the art style of Assassin's Creed, with a few features from the game as well. You take a leap of faith, climb buildings, and just parkour through the city. After the Assassin's Creed sponsored campaign was made by Florenzius and its item set being public, it was only a matter of time until someone built something bigger. So actually, the player Rikus was inspired by that campaign and created a stunning looking map of the game Assassin's Creed Mirage himself. A very much stealth-based game set in 1861 CE in the Middle East. returning to the roots of older Assassin's Creed titles. The game is said to be in Baghdad, Iraq, and just like in the real city, it's easy to get lost on this map. The city has a very complex and somewhat labyrinth-like street layout, and that really adds to the charm of the pathfinding. Rikers named it Animus Project, which I think is an amazing name, since the Animus in the game stands for Virtual Reality Machine, which is used to take someone to make them access and experience the memories of different ancestors through their genetic code. In it being transferred into Trackmania resembles the player being inside of the machine themselves and being transported into the world of Assassin's Creed. It's heavily based on the feels and looks of the game, but it doesn't resemble the game exactly. You get to explore the roofs and all the different street vendors of this historically important place. After playing the game himself, Rikers really felt like this has to be turned into a RPG map, and got to it. Once again, it took a long time to create, around 300 hours with loads of help from other community members. He stated he isn't the greatest player himself, so he got help from ZX to make this map huntable. Again, there are similarities you get to encounter playing these maps. You get to jump into a haystack, and you will even hear the sound of an eagle, just like in the game. So many assets that are super close to the ones in the game, in just the atmosphere that was translated into this track. To me, it only makes sense that this is one of the highest ranked maps on TMX Exchange, the central hub for Trackmania players to find maps to play. I highly recommend trying out the RPG maps if you haven't yet. Since we're talking about video game crossovers, of course I have to mention the Minecraft campaign. It includes 8 Minecraft-themed maps, a game that has been around since 2009 and still has a big player base. Over the years, it grew with tons of updates, never making the game boring at all. All of the campaign maps look astonishing and make you feel like you actually get to drive through the Minecraft landscapes. The start of this project was to place a various dream to just create a single Minecraft map. He started by using a already existing item set, but sadly it only included 32 blocks. And those were simply just not enough, so he wanted to create more himself. Maybe you have heard that the Minecraft texture blocks are all 32 by 32 pixels, and that is not possible to recreate in Trackmania. It turns out that 512 by 512 pixels per block would be enough to make the textures look good. So before the maps could even be started to be built, Ivarius and some others worked on creating almost every single Minecraft block. That alone took them a whole year. It involved their own plugin for Blender, and while this was going on, the idea to create a whole campaign started to grow. This couldn't have been done by one person, so a group was put together. And over the course, more and more mappers dropped out because it was just too much work. At some point, Ivarius thought this project would never be done. But after half a year of work, creating 6,000 Minecraft blocks and around 75 to 100,000 individually placed blocks later, it was done. The most played community-based campaign was finished. Over the course of the campaign, you get to drive through all the biomes, which are all combined with one additional theme, like driving through the tundra in a medieval style or the Badlands in a Wild West setting. It transforms the creativity of both games perfectly into really stunning looking maps. But don't be fooled, while those maps are absolute masterpieces, their gold and alpha medals are really hard to reach. Completing all maps in AT is a real challenge. After the campaign came out, the creators were closely watching the leaderboards, waiting for players to complete AT medals, knowing it wouldn't be easy. It took almost 4 months for the first person to finally beat Badlands. Exploring those maps, you will encounter all sorts of mobs you also find in the game. You will even see a moving minecart, all ores you can possibly mine, and even come across a beautiful coral reef. I even found a little Easter egg, a temple with a picture of the creator of Trackmania, Hillis. It's a true remark of the game, especially the last maps, which lets you race through the end, with Enderman watching you closely, marking the perfect end to the campaign, just like the game ends here as well. One last thing I want to mention is the whole block set that was created is open for anyone to use, and I hope we will see more amazing Minecraft maps in the future. But it seems like they might already be working on a new project. I hope you also had a little trip back to nostalgia, just like I did, with all the maps I covered are references to games that got me into gaming when I was younger. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I see you at the next one.